If you clicked on this video, chances are you are a newcomer to Canada and an experienced professional with at least 4 to 5 years of experience in your field. Your resume looks good, your LinkedIn is complete, and you are applying to roles you are absolutely qualified for. But even after applying to hundreds of jobs, your phone isn't ringing. You are competing against 500 other people for every job posted, and you are starting to wonder if Canadian employers even value international experience. Meanwhile, you are noticing less experienced people getting hired through connections. You are not failing because you are not qualified, but because you are playing by the wrong rules. In this video, I am going to share with you why your current approach isn't working and the two-step system experienced professionals use to actually get interviews in Canada. So let's go. Now let me paint the picture of what's actually happening. You are a new immigrant who just landed in Canada. You do not know anyone here. You have started applying for jobs online like you were doing back home, thinking if you send out enough applications, somebody might notice your experience. But here is what you are up against. Every job posted on LinkedIn or Indeed get anywhere from 200 to 500 applications. So you are actually a needle in a haystack. You might also be making some mistakes like using job titles that worked more in your back home rather than in Canada, explaining or writing your experience by focusing more on job duties rather than business outcomes, or using LinkedIn more like a resume placeholder rather than a networking or visibility tool. Here is how hiring works. In any economy, more than 50% of the workforce is hired through networks or referrals. Companies minimize risk by hiring people their employees refer and advocate for. And this isn't specific to Canada. This is how business works. So the problem you have is that you neither have a network nor professional visibility or presence. And the solution is to build both of these. Now, let's talk about that. Everything comes down to two things. Number one, strategic networking. This includes coffee chats, cold outreach, and LinkedIn engagement. Your goal is to have your resume passed through your network to a hiring manager, not just thrown into a pile of 500 other applications. Number two, authority-based profile building. Your LinkedIn and your resume need to show expertise and authority, not just job duties and years of experience. Once you master these two pillars, it will be easier for you to get interviews. Now, let's talk about how to break down each of this. Now, let's talk about three components of strategic networking. Number one, coffee chats. What exactly is a coffee chat? Coffee chat is a 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes as well, conversation with professionals in your field or industry. The idea here is not to ask for a job, but to ask for perspective. And perspective could be regarding the role, the company, the industry, the way things work in Canada, anything. Now, I have a video which is absolutely dedicated to coffee chats. Once you finish this video, I would highly recommend you to go back and watch a video titled "What the Heck is a Coffee Chat?" It has everything about what exactly is a coffee chat, how do you conduct it effectively, and everything in between. Number two, let's talk about cold outreach. Now, I know that hiring managers and recruiters are usually more interested to get candidates from referrals, but they are also open to find new candidates who are beyond their network but can provide great value to business. And that's the reason they post job postings on LinkedIn or on Indeed, because they are open to find good candidates. So when you see a job posted on LinkedIn, or especially somebody sharing a job posting on LinkedIn, make sure you reach out to them if your experience aligns with that job role. Let me share an example. Quite recently, I saw a job posting shared by a hiring manager, which was an absolutely in alignment with my experience. So I reached out to this hiring manager and said, "Hi, this is what my experience is, and this is why I believe I'm the right fit. Are you open to chat?" And guess what? I got an interview call within 24 hours. So do not underestimate the power of a cold outreach. Number three, LinkedIn engagement. And this is where most of the people go wrong. Um, Engaging on LinkedIn is not restricted to liking a post. When I talk about engaging, I talk about adding your valuable insights and comments to a post. If you see a discussion happening on LinkedIn, which is right up your alley, in your industry, in your expertise, do not hold back, because that's how people are going to discover your experience and expertise. Most of the time, when you see an exciting, interesting discussion happening on LinkedIn, which is in your industry, people usually read the comments to try to understand different perspective, and that's how they discover you. So make sure you take advantage of that. Just to recap, remember to build that strategic network. You need to do coffee chats. You need to be open and shameless enough to do cold outreach, and you need to share and showcase your expertise by getting into DMs and comments on posts. Now let's talk about authority-based profile building. Your LinkedIn is your master profile, so it should have everything about your professional story, whereas your resume is more tactical as you change and tweak it for every job. To give you an example, I come from advertising technology sales background. When I look for jobs, and specifically in ad tech sales, I sometimes see different jobs asking for different expertise and experience. There might be few who would be asking for enterprise client experience, whereas there would be others who might ask for more experience with business development and long tail clients. I can change and tweak my resume to highlight specific experience that aligns with each. Having said that, your LinkedIn and your resume need to showcase authority. After you have spent a couple of years in the industry, which is anywhere from 3 to 5 years, you have expertise. And there is a way you can show that expertise and showcase authority. Three things you can show this. Number one, talk about the breadth of your experience. For example, I have more than a decade of experience in advertising technology sales. I have sold ads in the broadcast space. I have sold ads in the digital space, having worked with publishers as well as OTT. So that's my breadth of experience. Even within advertising technology industry, I have worked for the TV medium, for the digital medium, etc. Now, talking about the depth of your experience. Having said that, having talked about my breadth of experience, because I come from sales background, now talking deeply about my experience and skills, when I did sales, what were the problems I solved? I worked for enterprise clients, I worked for long tail clients, I worked for various specific industry types like CPG, electronics, etc. How I negotiated, how I built strategy, and all of that. This talks about the depth of my experience. And finally, talking about the business outcomes. Most of the time, we talk about outcomes in terms of our functional domain. For example, managed advertising campaign and delivered 400% ROAS. That's great. But you also need to tie that to the business outcomes. For example, more ROAS means more sales means market share growth, and things like that. So always tie your business, your outcomes, your marketing outcomes or your functional outcomes to the business impact. Now, to summarize, when we talk about building authority based profile, we talk about sharing our experience and expertise in terms of breadth of experience, depth of experience, and business outcomes we have impacted. Now, these two pillars don't work in isolation. They actually work together like a system. So consider your LinkedIn and your resume like your storefront. When someone is walking by and they peek through a window, they would feel like, oh, I would like to talk to this person. So your strong profile pushes them to engage with you. But what if your storefront is perfect, but there is no one walking by? There is no visibility. That's where your networking efforts come into play. Coffee chats, outreach, and LinkedIn engagement, they actually push people to notice you. So when you reach out to somebody for a coffee chat, they might look at your resume or your LinkedIn profile before or after the chat. When you drop a comment on someone's post, they might look at your profile. Or when you send that cold outreach to that hiring manager who's actively looking for people, the first thing they'll do is look at your profile. So your networking efforts push people to notice you, whereas your authority-based profile let them know that you are worth their time. They work together as a system. If you are using one over the other, you will still remain stuck. If you are great in networking, but your profile isn't strong, it will be a missed opportunity. Or if your profile is strong, but your networking efforts are not there, you will not have any visibility. But together, it works like a perfect system. And it gets you into a place where you become magnetically attractive to employers and they start seeking you. So use and leverage these two systems and see the magic. Pick one strategy from today's video, coffee chat, cold outreach, anything, implement it for a week and then let me know what happened. Also, go and watch my video about coffee chats. It's one of the important playbooks about one of the strongest networking strategies for newcomers in Canada. And if you like the video that you just watched, share it with somebody who might need it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.